All right, I'd like to welcome everybody to a very Hi, everybody. This is Grant. I want to wish you guys a very happy Friday and welcome you to a very special episode 66 live stream. So, we decided to do a live stream because we have a show coming up and we're all going to be spread all over the place. So we decided to do a live stream. So we found this guy sitting on the side of the road named Rick Lawler. Said he would help us. We figured, what the heck, a little nice little deed. But again, our very good friend of the Posse, fantastic modeler, great 148 scale Shroom Tiger builder. Rick Lawler is here. Hi, Rick. How you doing?
Hey, guys. How are you? Thanks, Grant, for the introduction. It was a great weekend with you guys.
Yes, it was. We really had a great time. I want to go around the horn, see how everybody's doing, whether if they're able to get a little bit of work done this week. And we'll start off with Scott. How you doing, Scott?
Doing pretty good. Sorry about that. We seem to have a little bit of technical difficulties, but just been buzzing, honestly, off the high, and we'll talk about this later on in the show, but buzzing off the high we had for the weekend. That's so much fun, and man, we just had a great success, so that's been great. Didn't finish my entry. We'll talk about that more in a minute. So I went to an AMPS meeting this week and got to work on it some more, and that was a good time as well. So, yeah, good week, Grant.
That's great. That's great. How about you, JB?
I'm doing really well. No complaints here. It's been a busy week on and off the bench, and it was a really great time. The 48 and 48 the past weekend. Great charity, great people, a lot of our friends. It was awesome to have actually the green room behind the scenes. So we set up a green room and had everybody that wasn't in the live stream kind of just hanging out behind the scenes. Some of well-known Posse members. Shout out to Jeremy Elliott for kind of being the Posse marshal for the whole thing. But we had Robbie stop by. We had Josh. We had a bunch of folks. It was great. I think I counted up to 20 at one time. So it with Grizz and Jackson and the usual suspects. So really a really fun time. Super great event for a super great cause. And Bruce, you're throwing up his name. He was a constant staple of the weekend as well with his Nashorn, Eric Brubaker as well. So again, no complaints, super fun time. If anything, it was exhausting, and I was a little under the weather earlier this week. Got a little sickness, but I kicked that 48-hour bug, and now it's back to the bench and grinding into the weekend on to Cobbies next week.
I think you got that from James Skiffins.
Virtual viral.
I'm glad you're feeling better, JB. Doug, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Excited to be here. Looking forward to next week. We got a lot of stuff coming up. I really enjoyed the 48-hour build. Always do. That was our third time doing it, and look forward to the next one. Just living the dream.
Our special guest, our friend from Portland, Mr. Rick Lawler, how are you doing? And did you have a good week?
Did I? Yeah, obviously I had a great week. It's kind of like John. I kind of had that hangover after the weekend. After he got done on Sunday night, I crashed pretty early after the auction. I was definitely tired and dragging somewhat on Monday, but otherwise, yeah, all was good. The week has been great. I was able to put together a compilation video of my experience, which I posted on my site. We'll talk about that maybe a little bit later, but I was just so enthused about what we had done and the causes that we had worked for together that it just seemed like the right thing to do. And I had a really good time, like I said, over the weekend and reliving those memories.
Yeah, absolutely, Rick. Well said. Hey, Grant, we're gonna have to switch gears. We can't hear you very well. Sorry. I'm thinking we're gonna shift over to JB until we can see if we can't work that out, buddy. So sorry about that. Get on a live stream and the gremlins get out. So
Yeah, so I can just pick up from here. I think what we're going to do next is we're going to do a little segment of Around the Room. We're going to show you what we built for the 48 and 48 with the Posse. And each one of us will walk through our builds. You know, we have a few members that aren't here, but I do have TJ's finished T90 that I'm happy to talk about. And we're just going to showcase everybody on the live stream and then maybe even talk about some builds that were posted in the group. So first up, I'm going to add to the stream a picture of somebody that we know and love. So, Scott, tell us a little bit about your build for the 48 and 48.
Yeah, this is the beautiful gem of a kit, the little Tamiya M8 GMC. I just can't offer enough superlatives. It was a joy to build. I didn't finish mine because I'm lame. Just, got caught up in the events of the weekend and everything. I mean, it's hard for me to sit here and make excuses with Rick here because he freaking did Zimmerit. He handmade fenders, on and on and on. And here I have this beautiful state of the art kit and I didn't finish. So working on that now. And, did a filter last night at the AMPS meeting and kind of richened the green up a little bit. I faded the olive drab, painted it with the Tamiya LP. I believe it's 29, the olive drab one. And man, just sprayed like a dream. Just what the doctor ordered for a 48-hour group build, laid down perfectly, dried almost instantly. So that was great. But yeah, anyway, that's my build, and hopefully get that done here in the next few days. But even though I didn't finish, had a blast anyway.
No, it looks really good, man. I think the filter really deepens that color, and I'm going to put you on blast. It'll be done for commies, right?
Oh man, I'm going to do my best.
All right, sweet. We're going to go to the next build. We're going to give Grant a chance to come back into the mix. Grant, tell us a little bit about the T34.
This is Tamiya T34. Hopefully you guys can hear me. It's basic out of the box. It was a quick build. It was a fun build. Used a small tricolor camouflage on it. Had a great time. It was fun. And I finished about 36 hours. So, I washed, weathered, and ready to go. It was a fun kit.
Cool, Grant. I'm going to ask you to maybe bounce out of the stream and come back. We're still having some audio issues. We're getting about every 2 or 3 words and a little bit garbled, but hey, love technology. So we'll catch you on the flip side. So maybe just come back and I'll let you back in. So we're just going to keep rolling through these builds while Grant works out some technical difficulties. So next up, we have TJ's T90. This is the which kit? The Soyata kit. Scott, you've built this kit, right? Maybe talk a little bit about the build and what he probably encountered.
Yeah, I have. It's a surprisingly detailed kit for 1/48 scale. What you see there is probably 3 or 4 times your average Tamiya model in the same scale. TJ, of course, being up to the task, flexed his muscles and really threw this together very, very quickly and did a fantastic job. And then custom mixed the green from a couple different shades of Russian green and turned out pretty well, I think.
Yeah, I think so
I think
too.
It's turned out great. I was just going to, sorry, I didn't mean to jump in, but man, watching TJ pull this together, God, it was a joy to watch him do his magic on this, and it just turned out great.
Yeah,
Agreed.
you can see detail shots that he's posted either on our Posse page or over on his Instagram account, which is Orion Paintworks, and the close-ups will really do it a little more justice than this photo. But yeah, he did a great job.
Yeah, agreed. So next up, we have, as we mentioned, somebody that went above and beyond, not only built it, but also dropped a video on it. Rick, tell us a little bit about the 48 and 48 Sturm Tiger.
That's me getting carried away when I shouldn't have. I mentioned this, I think, even before we all started. I purposely picked this kit. Well, one, I never build Tigers or Shermans or anything like that. They're just, everybody does them. I have nothing to add to that conversation. But this one caught my eye, and one primary reason is because it's just, large plates. And so I thought, I can slam this together, no problem in 48 hours. And was my intention. And then the devil on my shoulder started talking to me and whispering, a couple of days out. And it really does need some merit on it. I could do this and that, and then certain things like the grab handles on the hatches and such. Those just kind of occurred in the moment. So I ended up not super detailing, but kind of going above and beyond, I guess, what I intended to do on this one. But it all worked out fine. I got to say, I mentioned at some point that in the process, it's Saturday afternoon and people are into paint and weathering, and I'm still monkeying with those, trying to fabricate some fenders, for this thing out of pie tin plates. And at this point, I'm really second guessing the devil on my shoulders. Like, you are really taking me down to those crossroads.
Bill Huffman pressured him into it. I think it was flat out peer pressure.
It was pure pressure. I gave into that. Yep. I feel like a junior high child right now.
No, man, I think it came out really great. What I love is the texture on the rolled steel. And I think the camouflage scheme and your OPR work, it's really good. I actually watched the video as well. And for everybody that's watching, you can go over to YouTube and see it. It's actually really cool. And then you showed some shots of the live stream too, which I thought was really nice. So overall, really, really great work and a great piece to, have a memory of the event on YouTube.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I tried in the video, I tried not to just concentrate on the build itself, but I wanted to try to capture the weekend. So that's why I put the time clock in there and showed the live stream and such, because that's what it was really about, was that community for those 3 days or, 48 hours, like you mentioned, the green room we had behind the scenes, where most of us spent most of our time there just sharing our, on basically a Zoom call, showing our work and chatting and such. And that was such a wonderful experience.
Well, yeah, you sorry, John, you did a great job capturing the essence of that. And, talk about peer pressure. I asked Rick to do this kind of late in the game, and man, he really stepped up and supported us. We're going to talk about that more as we go along. But, Rick, you were 100% all in, not just on your build, but in support for the community and the event. And just from me, I can't thank you enough for being a part of the team. And it was a blast watching this thing come together.
Well, I appreciate that, Scott. Thank you very much. My pleasure.
Yeah, awesome. So up next, we have Sir Doug, the Snake Wrangler. Tell us a little bit about this. I think you finished in 24, so maybe you went to the wrong event. I don't know, man, but tell us a little bit about the ATST.
Well, I've built a couple of them before, and I expected this to take longer, especially because I did the base and I did the 3 tones on the paint job. I started it just like a couple of years ago when I did that airplane, and I was at the spray booth like as soon as we started. In this case, I was gluing foam to the base as soon as it started. I was putting Gorilla Glue on it so the foam would stick to that plastic base as soon as we started, because I wanted to change the groundwork just a little bit. I textured where the weapons mount to the side of the head, those round pieces. I textured those. I did that right off the bat, and then I just started putting things together. I also put some texture on the feet, but I covered them with mud so you can't really tell. But yeah, it went together fast. I was aware of anything that might be a challenge, and I fell prey to one of the cardinal sins of Bandai models, and that is I got some solvent inside one of the joints on the left leg on the hip joint, and it just fell apart on me. So while I finished it in just under 24 hours that night, Saturday night, I was salvaging that model by taking pieces from another kit and throwing it in there to fix it up.
Nice. I love it. I love the Russian cockpit green turquoise on the hatch. Very nice touch.
Absolutely.
Shout out to TJ for that. He does it on a lot of his sci-fi stuff, and I thought it looked cool, so I would give it a try.
Yeah, kudos on the scheme too.
Yeah, well, thanks. Cool. That was, it's crazy. You start working on something that long. Friday night I was dreaming about painting this thing. Like I woke up Saturday morning knowing how I was going to paint it. So, and I really like that green. I've never used it before. It's AK's dull dark green.
Nice.
Really dig that color.
Nice. Well, Scott, I think if Doug keeps up the work in Star Wars, he might get good one day. But
I feel if he puts the work in,
he's got potential.
Yeah, I think he might get somewhere one of these days.
Awesome. Really nice work, Doug. And I got to give you a shout out on the pictures too. They look really good on the video screen. So kudos to you. Really nice black background.
Yeah.
All right. So last up, I'll just go. This is Tamiya's 48 scale Nashorn built straight out of the box. Really nice little kit. And no surprises. Used Tamiya lacquer paints and blasted through it all. The only weathering I did on the top was all with raw umber oil paint. So the streaking, some shading and washes, and even a general filter was done with the raw umber. So that's all she wrote on that little guy. It was a really fun build. Super cool kit.
A German tritone? I thought this was maybe Grant's build, John.
Yeah. I'm down with the sickness. I'm sorry.
Beautiful job, man. You like I said, you're almost there with those tritones. just almost. So close,
I know. Just give him a moment. He'll get the knack of it, I'm sure.
So no, it was a really fun event, and it was cool to build along with Bruce and Eric, who were doing the same vehicle. And it was cool because we talked about, the assembly immediately when we were going through stuff like, oh, how'd you do the gun assembly? Did you run into this? How did you paint this? Where does this go? So it was just really neat to build with people during the same time and honestly have real-time conversations. As Rick and we've mentioned, I think the green room, don't get me wrong, the stream was awesome, but I think what we had behind the scenes waiting for our turn to go in and out of the stream was some of the best fun there was. And like I said, I think we had up to 15, almost 20 people, I think, at one point. And to be honest, it was interesting. Some of the times when we were there, it was quiet and not many people were talking, but we were all just building. Dare I say, you could feel the presence of people, but it was still, dare I say, not a lot of awkwardness. People talked when they wanted to. And when we were serious, whether it's airbrushing, detail painting, or attaching small parts, there was just that level of respect of quiet and rocking and rolling and positive encouragement throughout the event. So it was a great time. With that, Scott, I'm going to stop sharing and turn it back over to you.
Yeah, we've been talking about this, and I'm gonna, I want you guys feel free to jump in on this, but I've got a list of thank yous that we've got to do, and for those of you that don't know, the 48 and 48 Birthday Bash group build was an event that's annually put on. It's a worldwide group build where you build a 48 scale kit in 48 hours, and the whole point of it is to get people together around the world to come and support Models for Heroes, which is our good friend Malcolm Child's charity, where he helps first responders and veterans that are struggling using modeling for therapy. And it's a cause that we're very passionate about and that we support. We just love what they do. And anyway, the community was amazing this year. So like I said, I'm going to go through and say some thank yous. I mean, first of all, obviously to you gentlemen and to all of those of you out there that are listening that participated. I can't say thank you enough. The U.S. crew was the Model Geeks and us. And just in our auction in the U.S., we raised almost $3,000 through auctions. And we'll kind of talk about that here in a second a little bit. But, just in that one event on Sunday night, as we kind of wrapped up, it was incredible. Lots of fun. People really spoke with their wallets and really were generous. We had Tamiya kits that were going for over $200. I mean, I just can't say enough about it. It's just, it's hard to talk about it without getting emotional, but again, it's a cause we love. So, James Skiffins over at the Model Officers Mess will give us an exact number at some point, but right now the conservative number is about $9,000 US. I think about 7,500 pounds that was raised, and that's just unbelievable. I mean, it's a an order of magnitude larger than last year, and then the year after that. And just again, the community globally was fantastic, and it was really awesome. So again, Sunday night we had the auction. Really want to shout out the Posse members that jumped in and really helped make that auction a success. You know, we had lots of Posse guys. I'm gonna forget a bunch of you, so forgive me. But we had Joe Porche that really was in the thick of the action all night. We had a lot of sniping. It was great. But you know, Model Doc. You know, we had Dan and Hank Knopfel. We had Matt Schaefer. We had Bruce Worrell. We had Eric Brubaker. We had Jim Bates. We had Jeremy Elliott. I mean, just on and on and on. And you know,
and the geeks.
Yeah, model geeks as well. And you know, everybody was willing to go far and above over what, you know, the value of items were because of the cause. And so that's my first thank you. It was a lot of fun. If you didn't get to participate, put it on your calendars right now. It's the first weekend in March of next year. If you can't participate in the whole weekend, you've got to show up Sunday night for that auction. It was so much fun. And it's just such a good cause. It's just a blast. Anyway, let me go through my list here. So first, I'm going to start with the man who made it all happen, the guy that puts in the work year round and puts this awesome event together. And that's James Skiffins and his whole Model Officers Mess team. You had Steph, you had, you know, a number of people, Miranda and Stefan in the Netherlands. You had Ian from On the Bench down in Australia. You had the geeks and us here in the US. I mean, just on and on and on. So a big shout out to James and the Model Officers Mess team for putting on a great event, arming us with incredible videos, reminders to get up and stretch, you know, giving us totals and keeping us all engaged, and then providing a format for us as, you know, model nerds to actually take a hobby that we all love and really do some amazing things with it. So that's my first thank you. Obviously, the other podcast, we talked about Ian and Dave from On the Bench in the Australian sections. Our brothers, the Model Geeks, Darren and Andrew Frill and Andrew Whitey. You guys are all legends. You guys were great. It was fun to work with you. Obviously, Malcolm was there for quite a bit of this from, you know, he and James from Just Making Conversation. So all the other podcasts, great job. A guy right here I'm going to embarrass a little bit, Rick Lawler from AK and Propaganda. As I mentioned a little earlier, we sort of leaned on Rick late in the game, and he showed up in force. Just can't thank him enough for not just participating, but making sure that we got a lot of goods to auction. And these were top notch, you know, beautiful AK books, you know, beautiful figures, just really stepped it up. So Rick, thank you so very much for what you contributed.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you.
One of Rick's partners, Custom Dioramics, provided 3 just beautiful resin figures. We really want to thank them. Our good friend,
shout out to Jose Rodriguez for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Our good friend Steve Munsell, Value Gear Details. I mean, just like years past, Steve really stepped it up, and we were really able to, on the auctions for the value gears, really stoke the fires. And man, those resin details went for good money, and that was a lot of fun. So Steve, thank you so much for that. Of course, our flagship partner, Tank Craft. Brad, the owner of Tank Craft, makes sure that he participates in this each year, provided a beautiful mat and a glue base, and just, you know, appreciate those guys. You know, Tank Craft, they're good people. They make the finest products. And then lastly, Tamiya USA, you know, I sent a message over to those guys, and just like last year said, will you help? And I just got a message, dude, we're in. I'm going to send you a box. And I got the box at my house and opened it up. And it was just, you know, a whole bunch of kits. And these aren't, warehouse dust collectors. These are their brand new kits. We wrangled, I think, John, $225 out of Mr. Benani for the F-35.
I wanted it, and I wasn't going to let someone else have it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
I got a free kit with my donation. That's how I look at it. So,
absolutely. We had the Comet, we had the P-38J, which Mr. Jim Bates of Scale Canadian TV paid dearly for. Just
Tomcat.
Yeah. I'm going on and on here, but it's a great event. Again, you can hopefully tell how much we believe in this. But again, our partners, our sponsors, the Model Officers Mess, our community that participated, thank you to everybody. We had an absolute blast. We can't wait to do it again next year.
Hear, hear.
Absolutely.
All right. Want to talk about real quick, and then we're going to see if we've got Grant back, and so he can do an interview with Rick. But we have a new group build that we're doing in conjunction with Black Rifle Model Works, and it's called the Anglo-American Group Build. And the rules of this group are simple. You can find links to this either on Black Rifle's Facebook page or on our Plastic Posse group page. I fumbled over that.
Gotta love being live, Scott.
That's right. You gotta love it. Anyway, you'll see links there. You can sign up. The group build runs for, I believe, 6 months. And the rules of the group are simple. The entry has to be unstarted prior to joining the build. It can be any subject in any scale that has been used either in the past or the present by the military of either the United States or the United Kingdom. So it's really, really tough to find a subject there.
I got an F-35 coming for it.
That's right. And then the bottom line, last thing I'll have to say about this group build is the most important thing is have fun. We want everybody to participate, and it's going to be a blast working with Luke and Graham and the team over at Black Rifle.
And Scott, to the comment on the screen by Bruce, I believe it's only U.S. and British, not the Commonwealth. I'm sorry, Australia, New Zealand, Canada.
Well, let's not make us the bad guys. Bruce, reach out to Luke and ask him.
Send your questions to Black Rifle Model Works.
That's right.
Send the hate mail that direction.
That's right. All right, so we're going to hope that the gremlins are rounded up, and we're going to go over to Grant in California and see if we've got his internet working. So, Grant, how you doing?
Hopefully okay. You can hear me a little bit better, and it's not as bad.
Yeah, it's much better. Much better.
Okay. Sorry about that. You go live one time and everything decides to dump on you. So, all right. So now's the time let's talk to Rick Lawler about a few things. Rick's a big supporter of the page. He's been on a couple of times. We've done his basic interview, several times, but I want to talk about Rick today about his channels, his work with AK, his getting ready for IPMS Nationals. If you don't know, he's doing a couple demos, and actually he's doing 3 now, as far as I know. I'm sure they didn't throw a 4th one in there yet, but so it's great to hear that.
I hope not. I haven't heard about that one yet.
Yeah. Well, I remember someone saying, who's going to come see me do a model for that many hours? No one's going to come. No one's going to be there. Yeah, but that was pretty much proven wrong in the first hour. Yeah. So, Rick, tell us about your propaganda channel.
Oh, goodness. So propaganda channel in of itself, the video channel is a YouTube video channel. So it's easy to find as Rick Lawler Propaganda. I've talked about this before, so I don't think I'll go terribly deep, but when COVID hit and such, and not even that, but as much as anything, my sons said, you're building models all the time anyway, and you're taking pictures. I was doing the magazine work and everything, and says, why don't you videotape it and put it up on YouTube? And so that's how the YouTube channel started, kind of as the enticement by then. I had no interest, no clue, how to do it. I didn't want to do it, but I started looking into it, fumbled my way around. So, every video I've ever produced is on there now. It's been almost a year and 3/4, year and a half, something like that, someplace in there. I think August is my 2nd-year anniversary. The first videos are up there. They are as rough can be, but I started doing it. And I do it because I love building models. And those will kind of tie into the workshops I think we'll talk about in a little bit here. But part of, I get so much joy and have had so much joy over my lifetime building scale modeling. And, I'm always about trying to share my love, my interests, my, what I've learned over the years, my experience with others. And it turns out that this is a fantastic way to do that. So that's kind of where the propaganda video channel is starting to come into its own here, especially now that I've kind of figured out how to do the technical side of things, and I can start to present closer to how I have it in my head. I'm still not quite there yet, but it's much closer than it used to be. So that's the propaganda video channel. I also have a website. Of course, I post on Instagram and Facebook as well. So.
Oh, that's great, Rick. Hey, so you got about 4 people. You have 4 people here, 4 people, sorry, here that are going to your demo in Texas. So can you give us an idea of what's going to happen? What are you going to show? What do we need to do? And all that kind of stuff for your demos?
I'm going to show very little. I'm going to do as little as possible. The work is actually going to be on the participant side. So the theme of the workshops is to make a small vignette or diorama base. You could be a figure, whatever. It doesn't matter what it is. You can bring your own bases there. I'll provide more or less all the materials that you will need. If you have things that you can bring, great. Your favorite tools or whatever, because that will be helpful. But AK is supplying a vast majority of all sorts of scenic materials, and so we'll be using those. The basic premise is I'm going to challenge my participants to build a base. We have 4 hours. It's going to be totally hands-on. And it's like, what do you want to build? Could be a desert scene. It could be a sci-fi scene. It could be, water scene, whatever it is you want to build, do it. Let's get started. And then I will be there throughout the process to help coach you and, more importantly, push you through the process. Because in my experience, when I work with people, and I probably like you guys all are, because you're all experienced and accomplished modelers, you get people who ask you, to take a look at their model and how does it look? And my basic response more often than not is, it looks good for where you are. And this has been my experience as well. Looks good where you're at, but we can go further. And so that's going to be kind of the theme of this. Let's figure out where the next step is on these bases here. I enjoy doing bases. Matter of fact, I just finished up a base yesterday, and that's the most. It comes relatively easy for me, for lack of a better terminology. I enjoy doing them as well. And I find I have the knack to do that to some degree. So I want to share that with people. And that's, again, back to like the propaganda site is, I think I have an easy way, a simple way to do these processes and be able to push you a little bit further than you thought you needed to go in order to really go to that next level and put something out that's spectacular.
Well, that's great, Rick. I really do appreciate it. And I'm like the rest of the guys. I cannot wait to see you in Texas and hit this demo with you and see what I can do in those 4 hours. We all know that you work for AK and you do stuff for them. How long have that relationship been going on, and where do you see it going?
Let's put it this way: the relationship with the Spanish companies, and so in that inclusion is MIG Productions, AK Interactive, Ammo of MIG, and now AK Interactive again. So I've worked for all those companies, and that started in 2008, I believe. That's when I started with MIG Productions. And I've been kind of weaving my way through those companies as as the years have gone by and the various business dynamics have changed over time. This latest work that I've been working with AK Interactive has been for about the last 4 years, I guess it's been now. I haven't kept track of it. I took a bit of a break for a little while, and then when I returned back to working on the commercial side with the companies with AK, that's what I did. And I think it's about 4 years ago now. I think you had a second part of your question, which was like, what do I do?
Yeah. Yeah. I just want to know, you're doing these fantastic diorama builds on your propaganda page. I'm just, where are you? And, are you planning on building, keeping that process going with AK and building more and more and more? And where do you see yourself, do you see yourself going a little bit bigger? Do you see yourself going a little bit smaller with dioramas? Where do you see yourself at?
Well, so in terms of the synergy between the propaganda channel, the videos, and what I do with AK, there is a very symbiotic relationship there in that nearly everything that you have seen on the propaganda channel ends up being part of an AK publication. So going to print. And so what happens in that case is I'll be presented with a number of different themes, a number of different publication ideas that will be taking place over the next year. I can choose sort of what I want to do. Sometimes I'm assigned to what needs to be done. And then over the course of, since the propaganda video channels started, I'll be incorporating those projects along with taking the photographs for the print side all together in this big mesh. And then part of it goes to the propaganda channel for my own use. Part of it goes to AK for their use later on into publications. So that's kind of how that symbiotic relationship has worked. It's been great. AK has been absolutely fantastic in supporting, my endeavors personally, along with their endeavors business-wise. There's been a bit of a transition here over the last, this year, I should say. AK, like myself, and like, you're a podcast, audio channel that's doing a video live stream right now. So video is becoming more and more important. And so there's been a transition towards more video production versus, say, print production. So it's a little more selective on the print side. So more heritage type books, more, those bookshelf type things, whereas the videos are more quicker product demonstration types of things that you might have in a publication in the past that was how to airbrush, how to do pin washes, how to do this or do that. Those are all going towards video now. So now it's more reference and bigger, like the fact books, FAQs and stuff like that for the print side of things. And since I've learned how to do the video sort of production stuff on the propaganda side, now I've become more involved on the video side for AK as well, producing quite a few videos for them lately on new products as they're released, how-to things, demonstrations, things like that.
Well, that's great, Rick. We really do appreciate you joining us today. It's been great. It's such a great honor to have you with us. It really is. Doug, why don't we go to you next with the feedback?
All righty. Well, we got a whole bunch of a conversation started during the 48 and 48. Not exactly feedback, but you would be amazed at the dozens of conversations and hundreds of messages that came through those conversations with everybody communicating about what they were doing. And it was a lot of fun to see that. I'm going to go to, let's see. We got a bunch of people thanked us for the episode 66 interview with Zach Pease. Seems a bunch of people were really appreciating hearing from what they called an average guy modeler. That was Boyd Brown who called him that. And he says, while he loves the interviews with Uncle Night Shifts and Adam Wilders of the world, he really hopes to hear more like that with just our average guys out there. So, hopefully we'll be hearing more of that as we go on. Our friend Robbie Knopft says, hello, Posse, just contacting you to find out if Jim Bates can spare some of his fortune to start a charity for mental health for us single subject builders that need help. In all seriousness, I am a single subject builder. There is one project on the bench, and that is it. I work as a heavy truck mechanic and at times can have upwards of 4 trucks under repair, juggling parts, orders, prioritizing repairs, getting information to the right people can easily become a disorganized mess. I enjoy having one subject on the bench because it helps keep my build focused for me and progressing. If I had a few builds on the go, I would quickly become overwhelmed and a fun hobby would suddenly feel like work. Thanks for the great content as always. And one more person said something recently. We've mentioned him a lot, but our friend Martin Drayton, he did say have something to say about the way he builds. We talked about people that build on the go, that travel with their builds, and he said it's really easy for him because at home he's always using the kitchen table and clearing away nightly. So packing it into a bag was really easy for him. Sounds like he's got a system. I certainly don't grasp that talent yet, but I'm working on it. Maybe one of these days we can catch up to him. Anyway, there was a whole bunch more talk about the 48 and 48 and a bunch of nice builds being shared by people. So if you want to go to the Plastic Posse page, check it out, see what people are doing. It's really impressive what people were able to knock out in such a short amount of time. That's all I got for feedback today.
All right. Doug, I think you've also got a list of upcoming shows and events as well.
Upcoming shows. Well, we're a week away from, by the time this airs, we will be talking about Commies Fest, which is March 25th at Wings Over the Rockies Centennial Facility. TriCon, March 25th also at the Beatty Career Center in Pittsburgh. IPMS Hamilton's Heritage Con 15, Sunday, March 26th at the Canadian Warplane Heritage Museum in Hamilton, Ontario from 9 to 4. Let's see, we've got the annual Indy Roscoe Turner Invitational Contest and Swap Meet, Saturday, April 15th, 9 to 4. IPMS Seattle Annual Spring Show, April 29th. I did say by the time this airs, right? We're doing this live. Am I wrong?
Yeah,
right,
but
guys.
it's all good.
That's out a week after. I'm so smart. Now I'm getting nervous because everybody's watching me now.
That's
and
right.
we are
You
live.
You can feel the little eyes. Yeah, that Roscoe Turner show. Everybody that's in that Indy area, you're going to want to go there just to meet Ian Bonner, iBones Models. Awesome modeler, awesome friend. So
Great guy.
Great guy.
And figure out which one of his profile pictures on Facebook is the right one. Or if you follow him, you know. We've got the MFCA show on May 5th and 6th at the Radisson Hotel, Philadelphia East. AMPS International show, May 5th and 6th. Do we have a location for that, guys?
It's Camp Hill, Pennsylvania, I believe.
Yep.
There you go.
Yep.
I remember that. That sounds very familiar. IPMS Nationals, of course, is in San Marcos, Texas, August 2nd through the 5th. And OrangeCon, Buena Park, California, is October 1st.
Yeah, that sounds like a fun show, too. Grant talked a little bit about that last time.
Yeah, I've been thinking about OrangeCon might be a destination for me. It's only 9 hours from my house.
Great show. You'll have a fun time.
That's a great list of events, Doug. Everybody out there, if you have an event that you'd like us to talk about, shoot us an email at plasticpossepodcast@gmail.com. And guys, if there's a show in your area, go to it, man. Have a good time. These shows are really fantastic. The time we had up in Seattle was just amazing. Commies Fest is going to be great, but let's make this hobby a social one. You're going to have a good time. I guarantee it. You're going to walk away inspired and just really have a good time. So anyway. All right, JB.
Yeah, so I think we're going to take this time to show off some of the group builds that have been featured in the Plastic Posse group online. So I've picked a couple that I'd love to just flip through and kind of just highlight. So Joel Munson's little tune tank is really well done. Actually, I love it because of the water, and then the figure is incredible as well. I don't know what I know how Jensen might feel about tune tanks, but Scott and I think Scott will allow it today.
Absolutely, it's allowed.
So really great work there, Joel. Another piece I have, we're going to stick on the armor theme in a Sherman. This is Ken Childress. He is a new member to the group, but a long-time modeler. I've seen his name pop up many a times back even in the Missing Links days, TrackLink. Ken is a fantastic modeler. This is just one of his great pieces of work that he shared with us lately. One of the things that I love about Ken is his little vignettes. So he did one of a gentleman welding a hedgerow cutter, and it had an LED at the welding tip. So it was just so cool, really well executed, and just well done. So I wanted to highlight a Sherman. I think it looks the part.
Yeah, I want to echo that. I'm a longtime fan of Ken's work, and just excited that he's in our group. And I mean, you can tell by looking at the tracks on this Sherman and everything, just how much attention to detail he pays to things. So really, really nice work.
Yep. So next up, we're going to feature another armor piece. This is from Christian Wolf. He is a UK-based younger modeler. Just wanted to feature his in progress. He always has nice builds, and this one's certainly going to tell a story for an early Panzer Mark IV.
Very nice.
Christian.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Scott.
Oh no, just Christian's great work, and I know Jackson and Zach, are good friends with him. But every time he does another piece, you just think, wow, he's just really good. Go ahead, Rick. Sorry.
Oh, it's just from this angle with his grass or moss or whatever he's put over the edge there. I hope he keeps it like that. Just allow it to kind of slide over the edge. That's pretty effective.
So funny story, Rick. I got to tell this real quick. Sorry to tangent, Scott. We're live, but it's happening. I was actually deducted points at a model show because my groundwork eclipsed over the side of the base wall. Just a funny story. I thought I had to share. You got to love judges, right?
You got to love judges. This has some nice. That's got some nice dynamics to it. I kind of hope
love
he
this.
plays on that a little bit.
Yeah. Like it's got a nice, really thick grass feel to it, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Looks
appropriate.
All right. And then the last model we're going to feature, Bill Huffman, our the crazy guy in the group that builds the most outlandish things at the highest caliber and integrates them into really nice furniture. I really want one as an end table.
Yeah,
and this is for the Mac build.
His work is always inspiring, and he's just he's a bit of a madman, but in all the right ways.
Yep. So last up, it's not a picture of a kit, but it's a picture of a group of friends. And I wanted to feature this picture because it really shows what the Plastic Posse is all about. This was posted by Derek Post, and he went to Hawaii because he's a pilot, and he ran into two familiar faces, the Lovewells, so Rayoni and Chris. And these three folks are the salt of the earth and the individuals that we've become close friends with. And it's all through the connection of the Plastic Posse. So without you, the community, things like this doesn't happen. And echoing what Scott said before, take the time to go to a show. And when you're at a show, get to know people. And if you're going to a show, feel free to post on the group. I guarantee you, if you're going to a show, a Plastic Posse group member will be there and they'd be happy to talk to you. And this little piece right here kind of shows what the community is about. People from opposite ends of the country meeting up in a random location. This time it happens to be Hawaii, which I'm super jealous about. But this is the ethos. This is what it's all about. We build plastic toys, but at the end of the day, we're more than friends, we're family. And I just wanted to highlight that these folks and all of you that are listening, watching, and contributing are a part of that family. And we cannot wait to see you, especially coming up in Commies Fest in a weekend. I don't know if you have anything else to say, Scott.
Yeah, just, Derek just commented, thank you, Triple P. Thank you, Derek. I mean, the fact that you got to know Chris and his bride like we did, I mean, like John said, that's what it's all about. Get to know people, there's so many people, worldwide, globally, that share your passion. And Derek is a great guy. We've met him several times at shows, and Chris now is a close friend. And we met Chris, and I mean, immediately, we hung out. It's like we had known him for a decade. And anyway, like John said, it's what we do and why we do it, and we're so glad that this picture just sums up the reason why we do all of this. So thank you so much for sharing that moment with us, guys.
Yeah, Scott, 100%. And we can't wait for the next instance. And, a few people have mentioned, so we got Jared Cowell. He's going to be hanging out with Zach Pease on the 26th. That's really cool. I know a lot of folks are going up to Heritage Con on the 26th as well. Hope to see a lot of pictures from there. And then, of course, Commies Fest this upcoming Saturday in Denver, Colorado, right in my backyard. And I cannot wait to see a lot of you there. Everyone on the line here, with the exception of Rick, but there's still time, Rick, and I have space in my house if you want to come.
Well, I'm going to be in Seattle. Let's go back up there again, huh?
So we just can't wait for it. And I know Darren Cook, we threw his name up on the screen. He's heading up to Heritage Con. I know the Plastic Model Mojo is going to be there as well. So be sure to say hi to those folks. They'll be sharing a lot of content. Darren and the team, they're great people. Darren's salt of the earth as well. And, get to know them, get to know the podcast family, and stay in touch. And please share pictures as well. I love seeing pictures from shows that I can't attend, and I know our listeners and viewers do as well. So please always share. And with that, I'll kick it back over to Scott, because he has a little announcement for a little accomplishment that we're kind of shocked to have.
Well, thank you, John. And this is just, I still, I can't even believe I'm going to say this. It's amazing. By the way, hey, brother, saying hi to Darren, and hope you've had a good week. We talk about our community all the time, and maybe some people get tired of us talking about it. Spoiler alert, we're not going to stop. And it's why we do what we do. But about 24 hours before we dropped our latest episode on Wednesday, I was checking up on some things like I normally do, and got some information from several of the platforms that we work with, and just found out an unbelievable fact about this community. We earlier this week hit 500,000 downloads between our hosting site and our Apple platforms and everything all together. And from the bottom of our hearts, guys, it's just stunning. I'm speechless. That's a lot of downloads and listens to a bunch of guys that like to put paint on plastic toys. And from the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much for supporting what we do and supporting each other, and for allowing us to continue to do what we do. I don't know what else to say. I'm just stunned.
Yeah, 500,000. It sounds weird.
Yeah.
It should be 1 million, right?
Soon. Rome wasn't built in a day.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
but we'll give you a week.
Well, and again, it's not us, it's all of you. We have 65 episodes of great people like Rick, that have come on our show and contributed, people that are posting to the Plastic Posse group, the other podcasts, the Model Geeks, the Mojo. I mean, so many people have helped us and contributed to us, and hopefully we've been able to, do the same in return. But, just again, thank you so much. We're so honored that you guys would support us like this. And it's mind blowing. Doug, when I made that initial call, you kind of thought I was crazy to talk about this thing. And here we are 500,000 downloads later. So what do you think, man?
I am kind of shocked. I'm still shocked that I'm even part of something like this, because those of you that know me well, you know that I'm not a comfortable communicator. I don't talk really well to a lot of people. And here I am on a podcast. Fortunately, Scott's really good at editing. He's making me sound pretty. But it's shocking that I'm part of this. I'm I'm happy to be part of this. I'm stoked to meet as many people as I have. There's so many just awesome folks out there that have become a big part of my life, and I really appreciate everybody for that.
Yeah, well said. Well said.
Yeah, I agree. And shout out to Alex. I think it is crazy. You know, this podcast is connecting, you know, us and personally me with so many people across not only the country, but globe. And, you know, Alex calls out one instance, and this has happened twice, where I've seen somebody in an airport and we've, you know, said hi, took a selfie. And next time I see you, Alex, you're getting a coin. I didn't have one on me at the time, but it's always a pleasure to run into our folks that we get to know and love, and can't wait to do it again.
Did you hear John? Man, he sounds like you're getting a coin and you're gonna like it.
You're getting a coin.
Yeah, for those of you that can come to commies, you know, we will have some coins and some swag, and most importantly, we will have funfetti.
Oh yeah. So I need to go buy some. I think it's the spring edition now, so it might be yellow. I'm gonna add some maybe red food coloring. We'll make it orange, or who knows? We'll not do purple, but yeah, get excited, everyone.
Yeah. All right. Well, I am going to wrap this up and stop, rambling and everything. And I'm going to turn, we talked about what we've accomplished so far, but we have an even more exciting announcement. I'm going to turn that over to John and Rick to talk about. So, JB?
Yeah, sure. I can take this off. So we are super delighted, honestly privileged to be associated now with AK Interactive. So AK is a new partner on the podcast. So expect new exclusive content with their latest releases, with their latest products, and a lot more time with Rick Lawler. So maybe he doesn't realize what he signed up for, but we're live and he can't get out of it. So here we are. So we're super delighted to kick this off. Rick has been, to be quite frank, a great mentor, a great partner, and a great friend. And he has been a champion of the podcast since we first met him. None of this is possible without him. And we're so privileged to do this with AK. And Rick, again, thank you so much for essentially putting the good word in and having the trust in the posse to help represent AK Interactive.
Well, it was, again, my pleasure, our pleasure collectively, myself and everybody at AK Interactive. You know, this whole thing kind of came about in a brief conversation, as you well know, very impromptu. And as you also well know, it didn't take very long for AK to become involved and on board with what you guys are doing. So it's a privilege and an honor to be associated with you folks and what you guys are doing.
Yeah, for sure. And so the first thing we're going to do is actually something really special. And this is going to kick off at Commies Fest. We are delighted to announce that we will be doing an FJ group build. So every one of us, including Jensen across the pond and TJ and DC, who aren't here, they will be participating in this group build. And we have each FJ for it. So I just showed the pickup with the Dishka. We also have the pickup with the recoilless rifle. I will be building this one. I love the zebra seat, by the way. And then I'm gonna reach beneath me and grab a few more. So in addition to that, we have the SUV. And whoops, sorry, that was the SUV for the IDF. And then we also have the one with the hardtop. So we have all four variants of the FJ. Each one of us will have them. So 6 will be built and they will be shown at Commies Fest. So if you're curious and at the show, feel free to stop by. You can fumble the plastic, check them out. We'll also have some other AK products there for display. So we have some textured earth, some books that are just brand new, hot off the press. The new Vietnam book is absolutely fantastic. But we are super excited to get started. And Scott, tell me what you think about this.
Oh, I couldn't be more excited. You know, Rick has been such a great guy to work with, whether it's the NWSM show, our recent group build, and of course, you know, I'm a big fan of his work as well. And then to get to do these Toyotas is going to be great. You're going to see 6 of them. You're going to see 6 different approaches, you know, using AK products, and hopefully that's exciting for everybody. But, you know, we're excited to have a really awesome partner like AK. We plan on having them be a part of what we do when we go to shows, and we plan content. Rick and JB and I are working on some interviews for you to hear from some AK personnel, and that's going to be exciting. And hopefully, again, with him live, so he doesn't have a chance to back out. We're hoping to hear more from Rick on a regular basis here on the Posse. And it's exciting. AK is a class partner, and we're excited for our two cultures to mesh and to support each other. So Rick, thank you for what you've done to kind of make this happen, and looking forward to seeing what these 6 people do with pretty similar kits and how they turn out.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what you guys do with these kits. I've built 2 of them, and they're a lot of fun to do. So I hope you guys have as much enjoyment and fun building those as I did. But I'm really looking forward to see you guys' approaches on those and see how they all come out. And you guys have got a time limit, right? You're not taking a lot of time on these.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
It won't be 48 hours, but
no, not 48 hours. No. We're going to do this all in the month of April. So we'll start technically at Commies Fest. Obviously, we won't be building; we'll be eating cupcakes. And if you do come by the show, please don't get funfetti inside the kits. Is all we ask. But yeah, we're gonna. The plan is to have all of these builds wrapped up by the end of April, and we'll post build pics all along the way. And maybe at the end of April, we'll have Rick take a look at them and either give us a thumbs up or just sort of a disapproving, kind of, oh man, guys.
I think I'll be busy that day.
So in terms of who's building what, I have one that I'll be building. I'll be building the recoilless rifle. TJ has the one with the Dishka. Jensen received the recoilless rifle as well, so he'll be painting that up. And then we have 2 IDF soft tops. I believe one's going to Scott. Looks like Grant just gave the thumbs up for the other one. And then Doug is going to get the hard top. That's pretty sweet as well. That was my second choice. So we're all in it to win it and cannot wait to start. As we mentioned, we will probably do a live at Commies Fest to show not only off the show, but some of the AK products that we have. By the way, got to throw up this comment again. It's pretty cool that Alex knows the author to MP Robinson, who wrote the Vietnam book. Really, really well done. I mean, there's a stack of stuff that we got, and that one is at the top of my list. Really well researched, not only from a historical photograph perspective, but also the color plates. It is a really, really good book. It's a book that I didn't know was out, and I'm so happy that we got a sample to share. So we'll be throwing up pictures of that. We also got a Bundeswehr book. We got a diorama book from the Middle East, and then we also have some paint sets as well. So stay tuned for more content and more AK.
Awesome. Well, like I said, we're really happy to partner with you folks. You've done the hard work. You've built the community. You're doing the hard work. You're going to the shows and things. It's just nice to be able to be in a place that AK and myself can help support you guys. So congratulations.
Well, thank you. We really, really appreciate that.
And one last mention. So as we build the FJs, if you're curious of getting one, you can get them at Microworld Games LLC. So that website is microworldgamesllc.com. They have 3 of them already, and that's going to be your source, one of your sources in the U.S. to acquire these. They're also available online, direct from AK themselves. But if you want them stateside, you can go there. They have them in stock. Buy it, build it, and follow along with us. We'd love to see your contributions to the group build as well. So just mentioning, this is not exclusive to the podcast, presenters only, and the kits we have. We encourage you to jump in, build along. Super unique subjects with, honestly, they can be used everywhere. I think the FJ is one of the most versatile vehicles out there, and he's used on every continent, dare I say every conflict. So grab one. They look awesome. I'll be building one, and as along with everybody else, and sharing pictures.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, Rick. Please
go ahead.
Please post your builds in the Plastic Posse group along with us, like JB said. Go ahead, Rick. Sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say, if you have nothing to do for an evening or a week of evenings, just start researching your vehicle. If you do one of these, the images, the history, there are so many different reference subjects. You can't go wrong. You can find something that's going to really, get your mojo going for sure.
Jim, to answer your question, you can't post to our main page, but if you haven't already, join the Plastic Posse group, and absolutely, we'd love to have you post to that. So,
100%. And as Rick said, there is no lack of subject matter, and my phone is actually blowing up while we're doing a live because Sam Dwyer's pumping photos at me like, build this one, build that one, build this one. So there is no shortage of
Sam, you need to build one yourself. Come on, man.
Exactly. So
is that the Sam Dwyer?
From
the real
Sam Dwyer?
Wow.
He's Sam Dwyer from the book.
Man.
So we will actually, that's a great idea. Maybe we create an album on the Posse group and we can just start dumping photos in there for inspiration, and we'd love people to follow along. And with that too, gotta plug Rick's channel again. He's got one, I believe it's a hardtop, Rick, where you have it alongside a mountain cliff. I've watched that video series a couple times and I think it's really good and really inspiring, so I'll be referring to it again on my build.
Yeah, like I said, there's 2 of them on the channel right now. There's that one, and I did the pickup truck one, but then I added a AFV Club recoilless rifle. It was before this kit came out, before it was included. So
nice. So with that, I think, Scott, it's kicking it over to Doug to take us home.
Sounds good.
Well, just one more thank you to all of our sponsors, to our wonderful Posse Patreon supporters, and of course to Rick Lawler for joining us tonight. It's been a lot of fun. It's been great interacting with you for the last week, and yeah, that's where we're at. Who's going to lead us out, though?
I will. Grant's got some gremlins, but thanks for tuning in, everybody. We appreciate you spending time with us. We've had great participation. As Doug said, thanks again to the community for all the support for the 48 and 48. For those of you that didn't get to listen to this live, we're going to go ahead and drop it in the next episode. So you can hear that. In the meantime, keep building, keep meeting each other, go to those events, have a great time. And, let's just continue to keep growing this great Plastic Posse community. So, I think there's only one thing left to say, and I'm going to have Doug do it because he's the best. Doug?
Yeehaw!
Awesome. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night.
Cheers. Thank you all.